You are truly the devil. And I hate you. 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 You can't hurt us. You can't torture us. You can't bother me anymore.
On October 4th, 2006, Ontario police got a call from a distressed 33-year-old lady named Elaine Campione.
911, what is the address to your emergency?
Leo, there. Are you happy? Everything is gone.
In her trembling voice, she reported that her 2 daughters were dead on her bed with all of their jewelry on, and she had no idea who had killed them. After receiving the information, police rushed to her apartment, recovered the bodies, and began the investigation. Detectives were about to uncover this mother's horrifying secrets.
Where do you think your children are now?
I assumed my husband has.
We understand you've been charged with murder. You understand that both the children, Sophia and Serena, are both deceased.
However, nothing in the world could have prepared the detectives for what was to come. Elaine Campione lived in Barrie, Ontario, with her 2 daughters, Serene, 3 years old, and Sophia, 19 months old. They'd been living separately from her husband, Leonardo Campone, also known as Leo. Like all relationships, the first phase of Leo and Elaine's relationship was happy and loving. But things changed quickly. There had been regular conflicts between them, and their decision to live separately was mutual. The girls needed their mother, so they stayed with her. Both Serene and Sophia were fair-haired and always cheerful. Looking a lot like their mother, their Elaine decided to do something horrific that no rational person would ever consider doing. She attempted to overdose on clonazepam medications provided to her after being hospitalized to treat panic disorders and aid sleep. She then went to sleep with her daughters on the same bed with the hope that she might never wake up again. But she actually woke up on October 4th, 2006 and called 911. Even though she was alive, her 2 little daughters were dead. As officers entered her home, they noticed a foul smell and the motionless bodies of 2 beautiful girls lying on the bed, holding hands. Their bodies were stone cold, and their lips had turned purple-blue, indicating that rosary beads had also been placed on their bodies, and young Sophia's hair had been combed. Police also discovered bath mat imprints beneath the tuft that had fallen on Sophia's little forehead. Elaine immediately doubted that it was her husband's doing because he wanted to separate her from her daughters. Elaine's suspicion was turning out to be true. After all, as detectives dug deeper, they uncovered that Ela's husband Leo was not as great a person as he's supposed to be. One neighbor described him as a social and kind person. He was someone else behind closed doors. Elaine and Leo's breakup was caused by more than just verbal disagreements. His wife kicked her in the stomach during each of her pregnancies from April 2004 to August 2005, and 4 accusations of assault were filed against Leo. But it turned out Elaine wasn't his only victim. He even hid his own daughter Serene, and it was so terrible that her upper lip started bleeding. He was charged with this as well, but he still got out on jail with a $10,000 bond. Once Leo was free, things became worse for Elaine. Leo allegedly prohibited his wife from talking to her mother. Apparently, he continued to use her in every way possible. And one night, in June 2005, Elaine couldn't take it anymore. She ran away from her home with her daughters and went to a woman's shelter with extreme bruises all over her body. The hospital documented severe bruises and a swollen eye. Elaine filed for divorce and demanded full custody of her daughters, as well as permission to move back with her parents in New Brunswick. However, the court did not allow her to go to New Brunswick because Leo was still allowed to meet his daughters under supervision, and her parental home was far away from Ontario because of the meetings. Meanwhile, Leo had started living with his parents at Woodbridge, which was only a half-hour drive from Barrie. Elaine was forced to start her new life in Ontario, and while she wasn't very pleased there, she pulled herself together and dedicated her life to her two angels.
What are you saying, Sophia? What do you want? Please? Hey, Serena? Who loves ya?
Mommy.
Who loves you the most? That much? Oh, I think I love you more than that.
While she took care of her daughters, she constantly doubted her husband that he might harm or take them away from her. However, this wasn't the only thing that worried Elaine, because she also doubted that her husband was sending people to follow her. She also feared that he could take her daughters away from her with the power of his money. But was that actually the case? Appearances are often deceiving, and it seemed to be the same case with Elaine. Detectives eventually found out some shocking facts about Elaine. She had been in a bad relationship, and her mental health wasn't good. She was getting therapy for her mental disorders, including severe OCD. It was also found that when she filed for divorce, her mother Faye Goodine came to live with her and told her that her daughter's fears of being followed were just delusions. Elaine was slowly but surely slipping away. She tried to stick to her roots by only turning right-hand on the road and never parking behind a black car. She told her daughters not to touch anything red because she thought it represented blood and that bad things might happen to them. She even said she could see aliens. When investigators looked into Elaine's story, they found that soon after filing for divorce, she suddenly showed up at her in-laws' house with her daughters. Her in-law Diego said she wasn't making sense and that the girls were malnourished. One of them had diaper rashes. He suggested she get mental help, and Elaine herself admitted to the psychiatric ward of the Royal Victoria Hospital. She knew she needed help because she was causing her daughters pain, which she never wanted. During the 2 weeks that Elaine was there, her daughters were cared for by their grandparents. The nurse who admitted Elaine to the psychiatric ward said she was in a bad state, and Elaine herself told the nurse that she was thinking about hurting herself when she got home from the hospital. In the United States, Elaine moved into a new apartment in northern Barrie, Ontario. It is in the Coulter Glen Homes complex. Leo started going to anger management and addiction counseling sessions, and his behavior slowly started to get better. The executive director of the treatment said that Leo had been doing much better since he started the sessions, and he said that Leo had stopped drinking completely. Even the supervisor of Leo and his daughter's meetings said that there was a big change in his behavior. At the last meeting, Leo started crying after seeing his daughters, and Serene and Sophia looked happy to see their father. Elaine, on the other hand, wasn't happy with this and didn't like it when her daughters spent time with her father. She never let her daughters talk about how they spent the day with him during their supervision meetings. During this time, Elaine's mental health was getting worse, and she wasn't able to care for her daughters. In early summer 2006, Elaine left her daughters with their grandparents for the second time. In July 2006, she went to psychiatric care and was released because doctors said she was mentally healthy. Around the same time, she met up with her daughters again. Leo also got a letter from the authorities saying that he no longer needed supervision to see his kids. This letter made Leo happy, but it made Elaine very scared. After this happened, Elaine's mother Faye came to stay with her, but Elaine began to think that Faye was working against her and helping Leo. Despite all the problems she was facing, Elaine seemed to be doing much better. Neighbors said she had changed for the better, and they often saw her taking her kids to the playground, where she would sit on a bench and watch them play and laugh. One of her neighbors even wrote to Children's Aid to praise how well Elaine had been doing since she got out of psychiatric care. In the week leading up to the custody hearing, neighbors noticed something troubling. Elaine was giving away her belongings, including kitchenware and baby clothes. It seemed she was trying to start anew. During conversations, she shared her fears about the custody battle, worried that Leo might gain full custody of their daughters. Tragically, in her despair, Elaine made a heartbreaking choice. When the police arrived at her apartment, they found a shocking scene. Alongside the devastating news about her daughters, they discovered a video camera filled with recordings that would change everything. The footage revealed intimate moments, captured before and after the girls' deaths. In one haunting clip, Serene expressed her belief that her mother loved her dearly, completely unaware of the tragic fate that awaited them. Other recordings showed Elaine expressing her anger towards her husband, detailing the emotional turmoil she had endured.
Protective and safe from you. You can't hurt us, you can't torture us, you can't bother me anymore. You can't sit there and control me. You have me locked into a county where I have no friends, no family. You got it so I couldn't even go see my own parents. Where I need to be with my family, the people who truly love me and have always been there for me. Take my children, be in a nurturing place. With the photographs, Leo, my kids were happy. They were happy with me. I was a great mom. I did everything with these kids. I took them to playgrounds. I took them everywhere. I did tons of crafts with them. Sang songs with them all the time. Did everything. Everything that CS told me to do. And I begged and begged and begged everyone to help me get out of this province away from you because you and your family are psychotic. And all you guys did was torture.
Elaine begged her husband to tell the truth, but he wouldn't. And now everything was over.
Leo, there. Are you happy? Everything's gone. Gone. You wouldn't give peace. You wouldn't tell the truth. I begged. You even had Stacy not believing me, telling her I had to sign papers when I didn't. I went to pick the witness to get the truth. Trying, begging everyone the truth. How you beat me 3 years behind closed doors. Beat me when I was pregnant with Elaine and Sophia. You didn't care about our babies. You didn't care about me. You cared about yourself. All you did was hurt us. And you gave Serena an idea that you could actually have my children. God believes me. And God's taking care of us now. You're protected by God. Thank God. And thank Him. Because there's no way I could have it with you. You're a hideous monster. The things you used to do to me. I still have horrific nightmares all the time because of you. You're an evil, horrible man.
Detectives were able to figure out that Elaine had already killed her 2 daughters when she recorded this video because she was heard talking to them in the background. Their guesses were correct, as Elaine had killed her daughters and then tried to kill herself by overdosing on the pills she was given for her mental health problems. She then recorded herself in that situation.
So much freedom my children. We have finally had freedom from them. That my little girl isn't coming to me crying anymore. Confused out of her mind of what her daddy said, mommy said. The girl loved me. She loved me so much. I betrayed her. The trying to protect her as much as possible. You could not let it go. Why could you not let us go? And the government protect you. They didn't protect us. I don't even know what to say. I just wish you had left us completely.
It's not clear what Elaine was trying to say in this clip, but it was clear that she was talking to her husband again. A stable and loving mother would never do this to her own daughters, But maybe that wasn't the case here. Elaine's mother, Faye, said that her daughter was stressed out during both of her pregnancies and didn't care about Serene and Sophia after they were born. Elaine moved in with her parents after the birth of her second daughter, Sophia. While she was there, she kept in touch with people from Ontario, especially Leo's office, and barely paid any attention to her baby. Her parents told the police that Elaine was always trying to praise Leo, even before the girls were born, and that she was also afraid of them. With this information, the police were able to quickly arrest Elaine Campione and question her.
I wouldn't kill my babies. My babies are my life.
I understand that.
It's one fear. I don't want to live, but I want to live. These are my babies.
When the police started questioning Elaine, she stayed calm and said she didn't kill her girls and couldn't even remember calling the police.
Don't understand it. I don't. And the next thing I know is I got people at my house. A guy with a blue outfit with orange on it in my bedroom as a police officer telling me something about charges. I'm asking where my daughters are. And they're just looking at me, telling me they need to put handcuffs on me. I need to get on a stretcher. And I'm still asking them where my daughters are. And that's all.
The strangest thing was that she said she didn't know where her children were, like she hadn't just killed them.
Where do you think your children are now?
I assume my husband has it.
We understand you've been charged with murder. You understand that both the children, Sophia and Serena, are both deceased.
Elaine's reaction here seemed more like she was sorry than shocked, which wasn't typical for her. She had already said that she thought her husband had her daughters, so if that was true, she should have been shocked when she found out they had died, instead of crying like she already knew what had happened.
At any point during that, did you push her under the water? Sure, Elaine?
I'm sure.
When asked if she pushed her daughters under the water, Elaine denied it right away. As the questioning went on, she started to reveal some dark secrets about that night. She said that she had noticed some strange things about her daughters that night.
I came to bed around 9, 10 o'clock at night. Went to curl up with Sophia. I brought something in a bottle for her because it's usually her feeding time and she was cold. And the fan, I would leave the fan running. So I pulled up the covers on both of them. And I cuddle up both of them, and usually they turn and cuddle in with me. They weren't cuddling in with me. And Sophia had weird colored lips. And that's when I thought there was something wrong. I looked at Sophia's ring, and she was looking weird too.
While Elaine didn't seem to remember much about the grisly incident, she did remember how her children were acting.
She was laying there and I was trying. She wouldn't take her bowl.
She would take her bowl on it?
Usually she takes her bowl and drinks it. She was just laying there. She was tired from the day. She hadn't had a nap.
Was she asleep at that point? At that point, did you call or did you call later?
I called then. This part is all blurry. I don't know. All I remember is trying to figure out why they weren't calling. I was shaking them and asking them to wake up, and usually they'll wake up for me. I called Sophia. She wanted her bobo, and she wasn't moving for me.
Then she saw that her daughter's lips were a strange color and that his body was also a strange color.
Upper of her lip was all this weird color. And I opened the blanket and her feet were like a pinkish, odd. It wasn't her normal foot color. And then I checked Serena, and Serena's feet were blue. But up on her leg here was a purple color.
Elaine was trying to show that she didn't know what happened that night at this point, but wait until you hear what she said next.
Just leaving. Just cleaning up everything. Came back, their bedding wasn't off. I pulled the bedding back up. Went back outside, was doing stuff, and I was getting tired I had took a bunch of pills. I was going to.
She might not remember what happened that night because she was high on pills, and she even admitted it. Throughout the interrogation, Elaine clearly showed signs of severe mental illness, as if she couldn't even remember what happened to her daughters. When she called the police, she couldn't understand clearly what happened that grisly night, which was a clear sign of mental illness. But before you feel sorry for her, when she was asked about the murder, her answer shocked even the investigators.
One person can tell us what happened was. How did they die?
I'm not allowed to speak without an attorney present. That's what I have to say. I cannot speak without an attorney present.
Did you kill both of them?
I cannot speak.
It was clear that she didn't want to talk about how she killed her daughters. Instead, she asked for a lawyer right away, which seemed odd. After she was questioned, the autopsy reports of both girls showed that they drowned after being submerged in a bathtub and getting bruises on their foreheads that lined up with the mat at the bottom of the tub. Water was also found in their lungs. With all the evidence that was gathered, it was clear that their own mother had killed them. Elaine's trial started in September 2010, and she was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. In the Crown's court, she pleaded not guilty, saying that she wasn't criminally responsible. The defense said that she was having mental health problems and brought up her troubled past, but they never denied that she killed the children. Leo's lawyer said that she killed her children on purpose so that her husband wouldn't get custody. The prosecutors had 2 psychologists testify against this claim, saying that even though she had mental health problems, she was able to tell the difference between right and wrong. The jury found that Elaine knew what she was doing was morally and legally wrong, even though she had mental illnesses. On November 17, 2010, Elaine was found guilty of all charges and sentenced to life in prison without the chance of parole for 25 years. Elaine killed her daughters to get back at her husband, and she thought that by keeping them from going to their father, she was actually protecting them. She appealed her 2010 conviction, supposedly saying that the jury had not been able to properly determine if she was criminally responsible. However, her appeal was thrown out in 2015. But in September 2019, the Parole Board of Canada gave Elaine escorted leave from custody to do community service and personal development in order to help her get better. This case showed the different stages of mental illness and how, when triggered, it could even kill someone. As a society, we should all talk about this issue freely so that people who need help can easily get it. In this case, both Elaine and Leo were to blame. Leo triggered her brain to face mental issues, and she went on the verge of taking revenge against her husband without realizing what cause was going to pay. He still blames child welfare authorities that only if he could have been allowed to live with his daughters, he could have saved them. However, nothing in this world can justify the killing of those 2 beautiful souls who didn't even get to make decisions for themselves, as their fate was already chosen by their mother. What do you think about this case? Who was actually at fault? Was it Leo, who tested his wife's sanity at every possible moment? Or was it Elaine, who didn't think twice before committing such a crime to get revenge against her husband? Let us know about your thoughts in the comments section. Also, if you're someone who's facing mental health issues, don't hesitate to seek help. And if you notice someone facing mental health issues, please reach out to them. A kind gesture goes a long way. Our thoughts go out to the victims of this case. Little Serene and Sophia, both girls would forever be remembered for their cheerful and happy faces. May they rest in peace. Thanks for joining me today as we explored this gripping true crime case. If you found this story as intriguing as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more in-depth investigations. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about the evidence? Were there any details that surprised you? Until next time, stay safe and keep questioning the world around you. See you in the next video.